Mara! Oh my gosh. I can't even believe I have you on the pod right now. Like, you just be out here doing so many great things. And I'm like so excited to just chat with you about just like life's journey and like just, coming home to the body. Like, you're just like all
Hmm.
the work that you've been doing, even the photography has been stunning.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Channeling that divine femininity. Like, if there's one person that I'm like, she is just really out here being her authentic self, sharing it with the world, and being freaking gorgeous while doing it, channeling island baby vibes for all of us. I'm like, Mara is just out here being her freaking bright ass light, and I'm here
Wow.
for it. Like, it's so
Wow.
beautiful to see.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy because I do be out here doing the trying to do the things that do feel good for me and trying to inspire, and it's always mostly inspire myself out and into new things. And so the fact that that spreads and catches on for other
Yeah.
people is just it's thank you. Thank
I
you.
mean, it definitely does. Like, one thing that I admire about like how you share your story is that you really don't hold back. Like, you share good and bad when you're feeling great, when you're feeling sad, and I feel like that is something that the world doesn't see a lot of. And like for me, like I notice like that is really what true self-love is. Like, it's like accepting yourself in all of your incarnations, even when you're
Mm.
in all of these different emotional states. I feel like a lot of the time like we try to really like filter what people see of us, or like we put up
Mhm.
like these false images of who we are because we don't want people to see us as like weak or like soft or like emotional. And I'm like, no, like humans are freaking emotional. Like, we have emotions, and yet like we shelter them, and we're scared to show them. Like, we don't like being vulnerable with them. And for me this year, I'm trying to be like, fuck that. Like, I have no problem. If I'm gonna cry, I'm tired of like not liking crying in front of
And
people
holding that
or
shit back in the back of your throat, like for what?
bruh.
For
Exactly.
why are you doing that? Why are we doing that? It's
Why?
so it's so strange and it's so why are we doing that? We're holding it back. It's gonna come back at another point, or it's gonna manifest in a different kind of way. Just your body just needs to let go a couple tears. Like it's not a big deal. It doesn't need to be, this you not it's just you
Yeah,
being
it's just
honest and
you.
true about
Exactly.
yeah, just where you're at. It's
Exactly.
just
But it's like
not that
tough.
deep.
It's like tough, I feel like, because we're trained to like not show weakness and to be
Mhm.
strong and to like be confident. And especially as women, like you're supposed to
Mm.
be even stronger because the world wants to break you down. And it's like, it's freaking exhausting. And I'm done. Like, I'm
Mhm.
over it. And I'm curious for you, like, how did you even reach this freaking place of like, being so full of love for yourself that you let yourself cry, like you let yourself be emotional and you let the world see it, and you don't hold back, and you don't let the doubt and the fear of like, fuck, like I'm letting people see me cry, like they might think I'm fucking crazy, or they might think I'm depressed. But it's like, no, like this is how I feel right now, and like everybody feels this way. It's just you refuse to be honest with yourself about how you're really feeling.
Mhm. Mhm. 100%. Oh man, I think it all comes from you can't say it without not sounding cliche, but from the fact that there is nobody else in this world that is like you. And I think that to be able to get to a point to authentically walk in your true essence, in your true power, and your energy, and for that to be able to kind of spread and like emit a vibration off of you, you just, you have to allow yourself to take space, and you have to allow yourself to just, you can't be full without all of those emotions, right? So if you're not also allowing yourself to have those low vibrational moments, or those moments where I ain't good today, or I'm not feeling it today, or you know what, today I feel like I'm a piece of shit. Those like limiting beliefs and that self-doubt that does come back up. It's normal, it comes back up. But I think that as long as you're able to tackle those head on, challenge them, question them all the time, while also just letting the outside and letting your body kind of match up your internal life so that inside and outside is connected and aligned and makes sense, quote unquote. The rest doesn't matter. But I think that for me, honestly, I think it kind of happened for me when I was in college. I went to acting school. I don't know if you knew, but I went to acting school. And so I did a conservatory program for 4 years. And I think the biggest lesson I took out of it was literally in the last semester, one of my teachers was pounding us with, I see how y'all are vibrant in the hallways, the conversations we're having in my office, everything we're talking about. And then y'all come into class and the work you're doing, none of y'all are showing up as who you are. Why? I want to see you. I want to see you through your work. I don't know why you're not bringing you to the table. I don't know why you feel like I don't know, this part of the scene, you got to uphold yourself in this type of way when in real life you uphold yourself in another type of way. Just bring that into the scene. And I think that slowly, really slowly, but like slowly it just started to kind of click for me and bleed into just my life in general. Um and I mean, I'm also, as you know, a big nature girl, and nature resets like no other.
Nature
It
is
just
bae.
does.
Like,
Is
A1 from the day one, like,
uh,
I'm like, "Oh, why did we ever leave you? I don't
it
understand."
makes no sense. Nature resets like no other. So I think just that has allowed me. During COVID, I got to spend, I mean, we've, us growing up on an island, we've been outside our whole lives, and then going to college and not having as much of that, but then reconnecting and coming home to that during COVID, where I spent so much time in Hawaii just being outside and barefoot and et cetera, et cetera. I think that just kind of made all of those things click for me and just really make me come back home, basically, to me. And COVID was that time where nobody was okay, or not. And
Everyone's
I don't
like,
want to
"The
speak for
world is
everyone, but
ending."
all of
You're
a
like,
sudden
"I
I was
don't
like,
my
yeah,
priorities are fucked up," like,
I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, you know what,
and like, "What is work?"
this
Like,
whole time I've been depressed and I didn't even know, because I don't have time to like listen to my
to
shit or take care
deal
of myself.
exactly, give yourself space,
mm,
literally, like
mm-hmm.
it's crazy what comes up for people when, like, they're forced to stay in a house and, like, deal with themselves, like,
Girl.
oh lord, people were not ready. They were like, "Get me out of here." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
cannot." I'm like, when you're stuck to be silent with your own mind and you
mm,
see everything that comes up, like, most people don't know how to deal with that shit, like, at all.
yeah.
That is like
Yeah.
escapism, escapism, escapism. That's why motherfuckers were buying left and right. They were like, "Let me just shop till I drop because I ain't trying to deal with these thoughts.
No, for
Not trying to
real.
deal."
For real. And that was honestly for me a catalyst. Because even though obviously I was going outside and doing all that stuff, all of a sudden I didn't have a job. I couldn't work on my career. I was questioning my existence. Why am I here? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? All of these big questions. And it just, I mean, you can only run away for so long, right? So it just was a for me, the catalyst in me coming home back to myself internally, as well as also home, outside home, so I kind of made myself go through the, the double whammy, and face all of the noise and all of
Yeah.
the other, the little voices in your head, that all of those little things that you ignore or push aside because, like, I don't got time, I don't got time, I don't got time. It's like, oh, actually, I got all the time in the world now. So what's up?
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, so you ready to deal with us? Like,
Yeah.
because 'cause we've been here, just waiting
Yeah.
for you to just give us space
Mm,
to acknowledge, just
yeah.
acknowledge, like, let us
Yeah.
be seen, like, we're part of you too, boo. Like, why are you
Mm-hmm.
hiding from me?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I really don't know."
Exactly. And look, you can't, there ain't no light without some shadows, baby.
Exactly. What else is it gonna reflect on?
Mm.
What? Explain.
Lit- it-
Facts.
yeah.
Girl, like, after that, I have so many things that I wanna ask. So, being an island baby, I'm curious for you, like, how was it growing up in Hawaii and then growing up on St. Martin? Because there are islands, but they're very different islands. Like, I feel like Hawaii
For
has a lot
sure.
more respect for the land and, like, has more tradition and customs, whereas St. Martin is like a hodgepodge party fest
Mm.
of just souls that just want to do whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever, just
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I should say I grew up on I was on St. Martin till I was 18, but I've spent so much time in Hawaii, so I spent so many summers there, and I am really close to my whole family who is there, but my grandma, I'm very close to my grandma. Um, it's yeah, it's for sure very different. For sure very different in the sense that, man, I feel as if Hawaii has kind of, when I spent my time there, that was probably the place that allowed me to honestly probably really fully embrace more the island life than being on St. Martin. And I think that comes from the fact that you're in Hawaii, everybody's is walking to the grocery store in their bikinis because they just came from the beach. Odds are they're barefoot. No one gives a fuck, like you're just hopping off the truck barefoot, walking into the grocery store in your thong and your, maybe something on your titties, you grabbing your snack, you leave. So in that kind of way, and that's just obviously a little small detail, but in that kind of way, I would say Hawaii is more lax. It's really a slower pace. Um, it's really a slower pace, and it's really one of those places that reminds you and puts at the forefront that less really is more. Less is more. Family is everything. And, don't be treating Mother Nature not even the way you want to be treated, but Nature is God, you know? And so I think that my spirituality has been anchored a lot in nature and the outdoors because I mean it kind of grew for me when I was in Hawaii, but also Hawaii does have
the
that grand,
energy.
yeah, that
Oof,
grand and those grand views
oof.
and
I'm telling you, the
sceneries and the
mountains, everything.
volcanoes
Oh,
and
just power. Talk about freaking natural power. That
yeah,
is
and
one thing you feel the minute you step down.
the minute you land, like you're
You're
in
like,
the
this
airport, you're
place,
mm,
there's something
mhm.
magnetic, like, oof.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
A
but it's, like,
100%.
beautiful, like, that's the thing that I love most about that place because I was just like, it's stunning, but you feel that, like, you feel that energy right away.
And you know what? That energy transcends into the human beings who are also there because and I'm sure you experience this, but I get this from my mom, but I walk around in the street in wherever I am, and generally, I look up when I walk. I don't look down. I don't look up at my phone. I look up, and so you're bound to make eye contact with people. And when I make eye contact with people, I smile or like have a good day, or your face lights up a little bit because okay, another human being. Like hi, I
Yeah.
acknowledge you. I and
Existence,
yeah,
exactly.
and in Hawaii, everybody. maybe not everybody, but most people are like that. People walk around in the street and just like, oh, good morning. Oh, how are you? I don't know you
How
at
is the
all, but
family? How is
just
so and so? Yeah, yeah.
just everyone walks around, smiles, makes eye contact with you, will say something whether you got to respond or not. And I've oh my gosh, I think about this all the time when I start to get road rage in LA. But I was driving in Hawaii. Girl, don't even get me started on that. That's one of those moments where I really have to
Ah.
channel my
Yeah, good vibes.
wisdom.
I ask myself, I'm like, "Who is in charge of your happiness right
Mm.
now?" And I'm like, "But they're so fucking stupid."
Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. But I was driving, I forgot where I was going, doesn't matter. But there was a two-way stop. And I No, it was a four-way stop, yeah. It was a four-way stop. I wasn't the first one to get to my stop, so I think I was the last one that had to go, and then there was 2 other cars that were there, and I was, like, looking around, like, I didn't have my GPS, and I was looking at, like, the street name or something like that, and they see me kind of confused and looking, and then literally everyone stayed no one's everyone in their car stayed at the stop, and then both of them literally look at me, smile, and give me the right of way. Both of them were just like, go ahead. Okay, good. You figured it out. Okay, nice. Go. You first. I was like, bruh, I was the last one to get to this stop. What you mean I'm going first right now? Just kindness. Kindness. It's different. It's a different place like that. And don't get me wrong, I love going home with St. Martin. I love it's, and I always stand by this, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And come at me if you want, but I stand by that. But it's different coming home with St. Martin. I think there's a lot of we're actually the ones who are from here, not you. It feels a little bit more.
There's a lot more ego involved
Yeah,
on St.
yeah,
Martin.
exactly that.
Yeah,
Exactly that. That's
hands
exactly what I was
down.
trying to say.
I agree to that 100%. It's definitely like, "Who are you? Why are you here?
You're in
You're
my
not supposed to be
way.
here. Yeah, get out of my way. Imma do what I want. I don't really care if it bothers you."
Yeah. There's less of that community and and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
us and team
yeah, yeah.
energy, I would say.
It's just like me, and my own. Pretty much, which is really unfortunate because it's, like, so opposite of, like, what I feel like islanders typically are. It's, like, these small communities that really care about each other, but I don't know, colonialism, capitalism, it
Ugh.
did its
I
number.
mean, and that's, yeah, that's exactly what that is.
But I'm curious now that you're in, on the mainland America and you're in
Mm.
LA, which is prime for Hollywood and cinematics and like
Yes.
theatrics and also phoniness. How was it like
Period.
becoming and like studying acting and trying to live out a career as an actress? Cause you out here, shooting your
Look.
films and thing. I'd be like, okay, girl,
Look, trying to do the thing.
representing,
There you go, trying to do the thing. Honestly, and I always say this when people ask me, LA is definitely not forever. I don't want to live here forever, and I know that. It feels right now, I think because I'm able to put myself in this hustle mindset, and I'm able to tell myself that I want to grind, 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 grind. To be honest, though, the past year it's been different. I'm definitely stepping away from that hustle and grinding mindset. But it's been good. It's been interesting. Finding community is difficult for sure. I think because I also work in the restaurant industry, I've had a little bit of an ease with keeping some connections and really growing some beautiful relationships. But if it weren't for that, I think it would have been really difficult for me to find yeah, just connection and meaningful ones as well. But it's there's definitely an air in LA of, and I mean, you said it, phoniness, but I do want to try to also, I don't know, maybe credit them in a way, but there is an air of I'm I'm here for a reason and it's to be noticed, and I'm here to maybe use people and absolutely milk connections to get to where I gotta be, and I don't care how that looks. Really knowing yourself, so that ultimately when you're creating relationships and meeting people, you're able to know the difference between, okay, this is, I'm putting this friendship, compartmentalizing basically.
Mm.
This friendship is going in this box, and then this friendship can go in this box, and then this actually isn't friendship. It's just we go out to do this and we get seen together and we whatever it is they do, collab on whatever. Um, so just, yeah, really having a sense of knowing yourself a little bit so that you can navigate that world, because there's a lot of mixers to meet people and do all this stuff, and I've been to some of them, and the thing is, like, I can schmooze, I could talk, I can meet people, sure, but that's maybe been the most difficult thing for me, because I the connections I have, even in the industry, um are with people who I have built friendships with. So if these people never ever gave me an opportunity, or if I never gave those people an opportunity, at the core, if they win, I win because I get to celebrate them. You know, so
Yeah.
so it's definitely different in that sense. And it's also different in the sense that everyone's always asking you, so what are you up to? What are you working on? So what's the next thing? Bro, I just woke up from a nap because I just worked all week and I'm tired, and that's it. I got nothing going on this week. So what? And I don't feel bad about, it's always,
Exactly.
there's a big culture of,
You have to always be doing
yeah,
something
you're
to be
always working
relevant.
on, exactly.
Yeah.
You're always working on something. And if you're not working on that something, and while you're working on that something, you got 10 other side projects. And when you got free time, it's not free time. You're working on one of those things, you know? So, I mean, I'm not that way. I can't be that way. When I have free time, girl, if I need to stare at the wall for 30 minutes, I stare at the wall for 30 minutes. I need to implement mindfulness in my life if I want to be able to just, survive.
Yes.
But yeah, but LA's also been good. It's also been there. I mean, there just is a lot of opportunity. And I think if you trust, like we were talking in the beginning, if you trust that you are able to walk in your authenticity, and also really trust that whoever gravitates towards that and whoever wants to hire you for you will, and then whoever doesn't, that you're okay because you're not attached to the outcome. You can accept that, great, this really wasn't meant for me, and that person is amazing and they deserve it, and also that person's not me, so of course this wasn't for me because they were looking for that. Just really not attaching your identity to, am I getting cast, am I booking, did I book in the past 3 months, am I even auditioning, like not letting any of those things kind of really define your artistry in general.
Yeah. I guess, how do you go about handling, like, the uncertainty that comes with this type of career of, like,
Hmm.
really being okay with being in the flow of the experience instead of being like, "Well, I need to have these jobs set up because I need money to do this," or, like, "If I don't, then, like, our agents gonna think, like, I'm worth being a client," or, like, I guess, like, how
Hmm.
do you sort of create space for yourself to
Yeah.
sort of be okay when there are gaps in the journey, as like
Yeah.
that not being a red flag, that actually just being part of your journey and it not being something
Mhm.
that like triggers doubt and fear and like brings up all of those negative voices of like, oh, like maybe you're just not good enough. You're not
Mm.
fitting that aesthetic because this is how this country is. And like,
Yeah.
is there
Yeah.
room for people like me? You know what I mean? Like all of these things that might cloud our judgment
100%.
and stop us from being the light that you would have otherwise been.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of handling because I'm sure like that comes up, especially with like other people that you work with. I'm sure it comes up for them
So
and they
much.
might project that on you, you know? And I'm curious just like how do you sort of yeah, create space for yourself
Mhm.
when things are unfolding, you know?
Yes, yes, yes. I love that question. First of all, I keep myself well surrounded. First things
Mm,
first. I have a lot of friends who are not in the industry. And so I get to have a lot of relationships where we maybe barely talk about acting or the industry, or it's just, it'll be in passing, kind of a, oh, how did that commercial job go that you were on 2 weeks ago, and
mm,
that's it. But hobbies, hobbies, I do not let my entire life revolve around me being a booking or not actor.
mm,
I do a lot of other things that are not in the industry. And I do a lot of other things that maybe people don't know about, or a lot of other things that, Instagram's not going to know, TikTok's not going to know, just other things that I purely do for the fact that I know I'm a versatile and well rounded human being, because at the core, we kind of just are. And so I make sure to exercise that a lot, um,
mm,
a lot, all the time. So that, I would say, is probably what keeps me grounded in my reality, as a just the fact that I'm a human being. I'm not, I don't define myself or even call myself really, oh, I'm an actor. No, I honestly, I typically call myself more an artist or a creative in general. But that's because I kind of probably have a little bit of a weird thing with labels in general, like the,
I
the whole
feel
idea of the
labels or
box.
exactly, I feel that. I'm like, break the
Mm-mm,
labels,
it don't
hate
work
the
for me.
labels,
It
destroy
don't.
the labels.
Put that shit in the trash. Um, so I would definitely say hobbies that I already have, and also making myself learn new things. Making
Mm,
myself learn new things. Um, and then, yeah, and then, like I said, being well surrounded. So I do have a lot of friends who are not in the industry, and the friends that I have who are in the industry, I mean, you just got to create beautiful relationships where people can remind you when I have those moments where, oh, I feel dejected. Oh, I haven't booked. Oh, I feel like I got to prove something to myself. You got those people who have worked with you or who have seen your work or who just know you, who can just kind of remind you,
you're
like,
like, "Excuse
girl,
me?"
I saw that shit you done did. Like, we can skip this. We can skip this. You got it. We're good. It is what it is. It's a little bit dry right now. All right, that's it.
Mm,
Until you can maybe do that for yourself. If you can't, I honestly, I feel like, with in general, the amount and current just work that I kind of stay at within myself, I've kind of allowed myself to also be that person for
mm,
me. So I don't even need to really rely on hearing that from someone else, because I'm at a point where I just I know, like, I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I'm capable of bringing to the table. So I know when I'm having those moments, that's where I trust that I've done the work, in the sense that, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, it's me. I did something wrong. I have those moments right away where I catch those thoughts. I know it's a fake limiting belief, and I can tackle it head on in the sense that I can ask myself, okay, so why do you not think that you're good enough? And then my answer can be, oh, well, I haven't been in a class in a minute. And then I can respond with, okay, well, maybe we want to refresh and go be in a class. Yes, great. So now I can go do it. Or, oh, I don't feel like I'm not good, or I feel like I'm not good enough. Why? Oh, I haven't booked. Well, this industry is kind of fickle. Like, you never know. And honestly, the shit you've been doing kind of speaks for itself. So maybe we can, oh, you're right. I don't know why I thought that. All right, we can move on.
Mm.
Just having that process of working yourself through and out of those intrusive thoughts that ultimately do not serve you ever in any way, shape, or form. And so it's not that you can't have your feelings about, oh, I'm feeling kind of dejected. Of course, like, feel that shit. We all have those days. Absolutely move through that. But also being able to catch those thoughts and realize that that's actually not a healthy or useful train of thought for me to have. So I'm just not going to entertain it. And the minute that you don't, it kind of just starts to dissipate, and you just don't even need to address them anymore, because they're going to pop
Yeah.
back in, and you're going to do the thing that you do, and then they're going to leave again, and it's like, "Oh, okay, well that lasted 2 seconds instead of me crying on the couch for 3 hours like a year ago, you know?"
Facts. I love how you like take it because I think a lot of the time when people have those intrusive thoughts, like the thought becomes the whole thing and you get so wrapped up in the
Mm,
story of the thought.
yes.
But what you do is like you just face the thought head on and be like, okay, but why do you feel that way? And then you get
Mhm.
action out of it. And that actually helps you break the cycle of getting trapped
Yes.
in the story because instead of the thought being the thing that takes control,
Mhm.
you're like, no, like I'm going to take control. Like if I'm having this thought, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me, but it might mean I need inspiration right now or that I
Mhm.
might need something to help me feel confident in this area so that
Yeah.
when this thought does come up, I'm like, no, like we've been doing all these things to help us get stronger.
Mhm.
And
That's how
that's
you
so
change.
beautiful because I feel
Mhm.
it. Laying on the couch crying for 30 minutes may feel good, but at the same time, it's like this the same 30 minutes you could use to develop a sort of step to help you deal with that doubt to begin with, or like deal with that insecurity to begin with.
For sure, for sure. That's how you, well, for me at least, that's how I've been able to kind of change my narrative. And not to say again, don't take those 30 minutes to cry, and bitch, I fucking be doing that shit a lot. Cuz I'm sensitive. But while you are also crying, or before you cry, or after you cry, or while you're crying, because your feelings are your feelings, they're there, and you gotta let them exit, um, and you gotta let them move through your body in whatever way they need, but also making sure that you're not doing all of this. Oh, I feel like shit today. Why? Oh, I don't really know. And then a year goes by, which, and I've been there, and that's why I can say this, but then a year goes by, and all of a sudden, I felt like shit and stressed and overwhelmed for a year, and I never really asked myself why, and I never really figured out why, or knew, I mean, I knew why, but I never did the actual
The work.
concrete, yeah, the concrete, okay, so what's the tea, sis? So, and in that way also, for me, you got to bring a little bit of humor in it. So the vocabulary you use with yourself, and again,
Yeah.
it's going to be different with everybody, but being able to know what words to use to also maybe in that process of, bro, I've been on the couch crying for 2 hours. My heart is broken. I'm hurting. I want to give up this and that. You can also have those little moments in between that spark joy, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way you're entertaining a conversation with yourself, and remembering that, like, the cliche saying that girl, there's goodness in the mud somewhere, you know? Like how I don't know.
I feel it because mudding is good for you, it's like
Yeah.
play, it's good, rejuvenating for the
There we
skin,
go. There we go. We're gonna say that. We're gonna
Exactly.
say that. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's so beautiful. Like, honestly, it has been I love just watching you just be you because, like, honestly, like, it creates space for me to be like, why do I hold back in certain ways? Like, even like I love to see you running around naked in the nature,
Mm.
I'm like, this is my soul sister right here. I'm like, I'm
Mm.
here for it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it I don't like I understand why we wear clothes, but at the same time, I'm like, why are there not more naked people out here in the streets? Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, when I found out that here in Washington they have like the Fremont like festival or the solstice festival where people like bike naked to Fremont or
Oh,
Gasworks.
stop. I didn't
And
even
then
know
they
that.
dance, like, they have, like, a whole day where there's a bunch of naked people in the
Oh
park,
man.
and I happened to run into it, like, on accident, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Why are there" but I was low key like, "I'm here for it." I feel like humanity,
Yeah.
like, we like civilize ourselves so much that it's like we've forgotten that we are nature and nature doesn't
Mm.
wear clothes, she out here in her natural form just embracing herself, and we as humans, like, we shame ourselves for the very body that we were blessed with, and it like
Mm.
breaks my heart that we live in a society where, like, especially women are like, if we do decide to take ownership over our own like body, we're like slut shamed or we're told that you're a hoe or like
Girl.
you must be promiscuous because you let it all out and you let them see the goods. And I'm like, first of all, like, I can't enjoy this temple for myself. Like, I'm the queen in this hut. Like, if I
Mm-hmm.
can't enjoy this for me, why the should I like only give it to somebody else to enjoy? I'm like, holy
That
crap, like
part.
that is so
That
toxic.
part. The part I mean, you said it. The toxicity around the topic that nudity and honestly and I'm going to talk about feminine nudity because that's really who it's geared towards, but
Yeah.
that feminine nudity is inherently sexual and that we're also inherently objectified for not even being nude, just in general, but also
Just for
on top of
being
that,
a woman, just for
adding the
having that.
yeah, yeah, is has been the yeah, that's the I think that's not I mean not I think the you know, big big one of the main reasons I do what I do. And me maybe fighting it in the way that I'm choosing to fight it. I mean, and it's not even a fight because it's just for me
It's you being
it's
you. It's
nature. Exactly. I'm
expression.
just exactly. I'm just being, I'm expressing myself. I'm not here to impress you, entertain you or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I can play a role in that, but that's the yeah,
I mean,
big
it's
thing
beautiful
for
to
me.
see. It is because I'm like, one, it just shows women like, look, like you can do this and you can look fucking gorgeous doing it. Like the photo of you like laying on, I believe it was like the black sand. Oh,
Mm,
fire. Like that photo in and of itself, I was like, hot damn, Mara. I'm like, go off and show us all what queen energy is. Like literally. Like it was just so beautiful and powerful. And as much as like you are naked, like that's not the first thing you see. You see like the vulnerability,
ah,
you know what I mean? Like
thank you for saying
and
that. Thank you.
confidence.
You
And
saw it.
it's like that to me is like why art is so important and like why
Mm.
like it's important for us to see images like this because I can only imagine like we were blessed enough to at least grow up in communities that embrace nudity to some degree. We have the nude beach,
Oh
like
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
European, so it's like
Yeah.
more laissez-faire
Mhm. Mhm.
with that. But like I can only imagine like growing up in communities where like nudity is chastised, where like it's like really not even remotely okay to like display even the smallest part of your skin. And it's like for me, this like such a
I
repressive
mean,
thing
The fact that
that
there's
I just don't
wars in
get
the
it.
world going on about
Exactly.
that is the most, I mean, there's no word for it. I can't even use the word baffling because that doesn't even like cover it. But the fact that that is something, I mean, the fact that that's even an issue in general, and the fact that there's
Like,
human
women are
beings who are,
killed over it, like, can't
I,
even
I'm,
exist in the world, and for me, it's, like, one of those things that is, like, are women just so powerful that men really just
yes,
cannot help
yes,
themselves?
yes, 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 bitch,
You know what I mean?
yes,
I'm like, we must be so fucking powerful that
yes.
literally our own flesh brings men to
Mm,
their knees. I'm
but that's what
like,
I'm, girl, yes. There's
goddesses
there's
run the
something
earth.
there's something about also,
Women,
and
yeah, just being free.
I've been saying this, something about womb wisdom. And again, you got to decide that it's for you and that you want to tune into it and all of that stuff. But there's something about womb wisdom, like you, if you have a womb, that inherently, I mean, we're just different. We're just different. And I don't want to make this podcast about, me thinking that women are better than men. But I do think we are the superior sex. Maybe blurt that out
Hilarious.
if you can't have that on there. But I that's what it is. It's fear, because explain to me why we can, it's never an issue to have the nipples of men all over the fucking media or just anywhere in general. But as soon as it's a woman's nipple, all the censorship
Red
in the
flags,
world,
red
you could get a
flags.
fine because it's considered nudity. So you're gonna get a ticket in certain places.
It don't
But
make sense.
it
When it's
doesn't.
like,
It doesn't make
ironically,
sense.
the only reason men have nipples is because they were technically women first.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, like,
Oh, I did not know that.
in our, because women, we're the birthers, all of our
Yeah.
eggs are female, every single one of them,
Wait, shut the
until
fuck up. How did I
until we
not
have
know this?
intercourse with a man, and if he gives us a Y chromosome, that is when our eggs turn male.
Oh, okay. Yes, true, 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 true. Wow.
But
Yes,
from the
yes.
get-go, we're all girls.
Wait,
Just saying.
I love that. Actually, I never thought of it
Just
like that.
saying, we're
Yeah,
all female,
I love
all of
that.
us female from the
Yeah,
get-go. And then somewhere
yeah,
along the lines, things invert themselves and grow
yeah.
out instead of in. And
Mm,
then it's so weird because it's like for me, I would think that men would take the role of the protector as such a
mm-hmm,
privileged position, you know what I mean?
mm,
Of like protecting a goddess. Like,
mm-hmm. But
what
you know
better
what?
role?
You know what? And I think this goes to show, and yeah, this goes to show. I mean, obviously, the amount of healing that still needs to be done in general as a community, but I think they want to. I think they want to, and either they don't know that they do, or
Or
they
they've been
want to.
rejected and it's
They
hatred.
want to, or they don't know how, or they just haven't. In the same way that there's this kind of movement right now, with women really softening up and allowing ourselves to let some of the masculinity we've adopted go, to really just embrace our femininity like to the fullest, you
Yes,
know?
without feeling shameful or like we're giving up or like we're limiting ourselves by
Hmm.
being nurturers.
And I think
Ugh,
it's the same, and I think it's in the same way that we have worked to obviously still do around that. I think it's the same for men. They yeah, I mean, they also got to figure out their own whole
they
set of
hurting.
shit.
They
But
hurting. That's
no,
what
and
it is. They
exactly,
hurting.
and exactly, and I obviously also absolutely feel for them. You can't not, because it's not. You can't. We need them. They need us. It's about community
It's a
and all of us together.
partnership,
Exactly.
it's a union.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. But I must say, like, just seeing you even being a yoga bae, like, I'm a yoga bae now
Oh
as well, and I'm like,
yeah. Uh,
I'm addicted. I should say not even a yoga babe. I'm a yoga addict, okay? And
mm,
I 100% accept this title. Like
I
I'll
love
take that
that.
label any
Yes,
day,
yes,
every day
yes,
because
yes.
yoga
It's about
heals.
taking the
Yoga
labels that
heals.
feel good, and yoga does heal. And girl, at the core, I mean, traditionally, like yoga is about basically mind and breath and movement and connecting your body to your mind and your breath. And that's basically why it's so addicting and why it feels so good, is because you get
So
to,
fucking
during that
good.
time, literally come home, because you're able to, create a union between all of those things, which is what it's supposed to be.
Every day, every second, we're supposed to be home, but no, we wanna be out here fighting and miserable in the
Yeah.
streets.
Yeah,
I'm
for real.
like, "Explain it to me." Oh,
No.
Lord. Like,
Yeah.
even with the breath, like, it's crazy how it's something we do, but, like, we're
Mm.
never trained to breathe. It's not like you take
Girl,
a class on breathing. You know what I mean?
I I and I was gonna say I hate being that bitch, but no, I love being that bitch. We Explain to me why in school this is what I would have wanted and needed. First of all, a class that talks to me about taxes. First things first.
Fundamentals.
Yeah, fundamentals. And then second of all, proper communication or different styles of communication, whatever. And then thirdly, breath work. I wish I had started doing breath work in kindergarten, girl.
Bro, you are telling me I'm like, that would have been very useful
So useful.
on many levels, like
So useful. Out here acting like little fucking brats up until high school. I mean, and I know for a fact you went to the same high school I did. I know both of our classes made some teachers cry.
that is a
You
fact.
know what I'm saying? That should not. For what? Why were we
That
out
is
here doing
true.
so much?
I mean, to be fair, they asked for it. I'm
Oh,
not going like to be
I have to
fair,
agree with you. I have to agree with you.
they
Yes,
did ask for it. But I agree. Like
absolutely.
grown ass adults, one should not be macroing in children business, and two should not be coming to tears over what children say.
Yeah.
Like I just
I
at
mean,
the
they
same
would have
time,
benefited from the breath work.
as yeah, that is a fact. They probably still could benefit if they, listen and just some tips, some
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
We're
Just
sending some
just little
wisdom your
tips, cuz
way.
yeah, yes, yes, we are.
But we out here still with our hair intact. We
Mhm.
still maybe, we needed to go through that so that we could come home. Sometimes I feel like we have the experiences we do because they give us even more appreciation for when we do come home.
Mm.
Because it's like if we
Yes.
had it from the get-go, would you be able to appreciate? I noticed that's something that I've noticed a lot since coming to the
Mm.
States. It's just like and even within my own journey, of like the lack of appreciation we have for the earth, for each other, for
Disrespectful, the
family, for
disrespect.
community, for
Yeah.
nature. Like it blows my mind how we take these things for granted, like the breath, like the
Mhm.
rain, sun, like the wind on our skin and feeling that. Like we take all of these things
Mhm.
for granted. And I'm like, holy fuck, like that is the whole like we're sensitive beings that have these sensory experiences where we can connect with other beings and other consciousnesses that are mirrors of our own
Yes.
being.
Yes.
And we're so out of touch because we're so caught up in our head and in our ego that we miss all of that. Like we miss all of the beauty and the magic that happens in every freaking moment.
Period. Snap. I got to give you snaps for that run-on sentence. That was beautiful. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm like, when I see people, especially like you, that go back, like make that intentional decision to be like, fuck this. I refuse to live like that. And I'm going to come home because I need it. We all need it.
Mm.
Like you said, the energy just vibrates and it is
Mm.
felt.
Mm.
Whether we know it or not, like it is
Yeah.
felt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%. And going off of that, I can say, we're out here not appreciating all of these little basic common things. And then we're also out here getting upset when oh, they didn't hire me. Oh, I didn't book that job. Oh, someone broke up with me. Or, and I'm not saying, of course, feel your feelings, but you're out here being literally not an appreciative human being in general, taking everything for granted. And then what? You expect to be given everything in the world that you think you deserve?
And it's like we have so
Like,
much
let's back
already.
up. Yeah, back up a little bit, and then let's try this again. But with you talking about that energy that vibrates and all of that stuff, I mean, I do want to give you props for also holding space like this, for yourself as a hobby, as something you're passionate about, and just even further than that, a space for all of your guests and for myself and for maybe anyone who listens. I like to think of purpose work as you don't need, it doesn't need to be this one meaningful mission that you're on. It can be if that resonates with you, but I do also believe that we can try to do a little bit of purpose work daily or in our everyday lives, and that for me means that you're creating a space for authenticity and allowing that to touch other people. And you having a podcast and holding space like that, you just never know who's going to listen, who's going to resonate with what nugget is dropped here or there, or who just needs to tune in to listen to some people talk about some casual, maybe random but real shit from time to time. And you don't know how that can impact
I feel
someone,
it. It's
you
like when they
know
say like the flapping of a butterfly in one part of the world creates a fucking tornado in another part. And I agree. Like
mm-hmm.
that is where it's like we're all connected, and I appreciate you saying that, but for me, like I appreciate it's for me it's a synergy. Like I can't do
Mm.
this alone. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm-hmm.
is the synergy of you sharing, of the people that listen, that bring about this opportunity to have like deep, deep impact on just allowing people to see the world differently,
Yeah,
helping
yeah.
them free themselves up from suffering, helping
Mm.
them just have a shift in their own awareness,
Yeah.
recognize that maybe there's a part of themselves that they've been limiting. Because for me, like, there's this Ram Dass quote that's like, we're all just walking each other home. And I believe
Ah,
that, in my core,
yes.
like,
I
we
love
are
that.
all like, I feel like the fact that
Mm-hmm.
we're on this planet and there are billion consciousnesses, billions of consciousnesses that we can see and experience and interact with during this time that we were allotted in this incarnation, like,
Mm-hmm.
it is a fucking gift. And like, if
Wow.
I
Yeah.
can't even be appreciative of that, then it's like, what's the point? Like
Yeah.
why even go on this crazy ass roller coaster that we call
Mm-hmm.
life when you can't even share it with the people that are around you, which is like we're all like everyone's community if we let down our walls, but
Yes.
our egos want to build walls to
Yes.
protect itself, and it's like, isn't it
Yeah.
tiring upholding them fucking walls? Like, isn't it exhausting maintaining those stupid ass delusional walls
That shit's
when
crazy.
you could like just love.
Yeah. And I know it's so basic because at the core that's what we're saying, right? And so it's like the most cliche thing in the
Cliche as
world,
fuck.
but also, and people can hear it and be like, oh, okay, like love, 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 it's all about love. Okay, it's all about love, peace and love. And like Bob Marley, yeah, love is my religion, and they sing along, or they think they get it. They're like, oh, we fucking get it, okay. But it only clicks when you really get it, and everything else that it actually just means, and when you understand how it actually impacts you and just fundamentally changes you forever, and so by default the people around you as well, until it clicks for you, it just, you're gonna
It's
see it
just a
as this.
word.
Exactly, you're just gonna hear, okay, love again, great, cool. So
Hippie shit, hippie shit.
exactly.